Okay. So, Pendergast gets a cab, takes it to. It's actually his. On the way you learn this is where he lives too. That he's been staying in this. It's a very nice place, very nice little apartment building. And so around 9 o'clock at night, knock, 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 knock. Firm but not aggressive.
Okay.
That's the best way to put that knock.
I'll open the door with the chain again.
It's Pendergast. Like, Mary Jane, you can smell the alcohol. Yeah. I've got a friend here. Oh wow, that accent's way off. Look, I've got a friend here. He's interested in the occult, and I think he wants to help Mr. McCorgan to do it.
Well,
here he is. Look, he's on there.
He's got his gun out.
Yeah, put that away.
I forgot I'm actually playing now.
It's an older gentleman, Italian, obviously.
Okay.
And hey, do me. Which one of you two has the lowest luck?
I do have a gun on me.
Oh, I think.
I have an 80 luck.
What's your luck? Up at the top right.
Ooh, hers is high. Mine's only 65.
Okay, make me a luck roll. Oh, when you guys make, go ahead and make the roll. When you guys make a successful skill check, put a small check next to it.
Yes, I'm at 57.
You recognize her. And you recognize him too. He was in the speakeasy and he went over there with McKeefe.
Oh, right.
He was just sitting in the corner. He had a glass of wine. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No.
Just sitting in the corner, had a perfect suit, had a booth all by himself. And he was just sipping wine and just enjoying the show. In the speakeasy there is a singer who sings and a piano player. So it's pretty high end.
Alright. Well,
So you recognize him, you never met him, but you recognize him.
let me open the door and keep you from hurting yourself. So
What?
I wave you in
Okay.
and sit anywhere you like. Just don't vomit on my couch.
Thank you. Well, I would never do that, Mary Jane.
Now, your layout of your place, what does it look like exactly? Like chair-wise, seating?
There's a couch.
There's a
There's
couch.
a couch. Do you have a second chair?
Yeah, there's the secondary chair and there are the table chairs.
Okay, so I would probably
And
sit in the
there's a
secondary
bookshelf.
cushioned chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's windows in the front that obviously look out on the front onto the street. You can see the street lights shining in from out that. Curtains are open. Correct me if I'm wrong in any of this.
No, windows open. It's kind of
Yeah, that's right.
outside.
Windows are open. There's a breeze coming in. It's pretty warm. It's July. Pendergast kind of collapses onto the couch. Just kind of boom.
So, I've heard you know a lot about the occult.
What? Where is everyone here?
Well, I told him. I told him about that man that you frightened out of your apartment.
You are the common denominator in all of these relationships. Yes, well, I am interested in the occult, and I am actually helping out my friend here with
That's me.
a case. With a case, something about his friend McCrockendale's wife dead.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
told me
read
that
about
before.
that. I heard it was rather gruesome.
Yeah, he didn't read much though. There
Oh.
wasn't much in the national news.
Well,
Not
I
been a
don't
year
know
ago.
very much about it. I was kind of just
Actually, you actually do know about it, so I told you.
Well, but you didn't know
not
much either.
I told you whatever the
Which wasn't much. Which wasn't. He didn't tell you much either. Except it was.
So,
Lack of information.
Right now there is, but you guys really haven't gotten to the site
Oh,
and actually
yeah.
talked to people.
but I decided to help anyway.
So I'm assuming you might have a good collection of notes, at least?
Notes, maybe. To do with this case, maybe not. But
Tyler, oh God, there goes the accent. Tyler Bryan, yes, he's got all the notes and things about this case. I think he writes down things and he carries a gun. And he's virile.
let me get you some water.
Oh, thank you. A coffee would actually be very nice, right?
Or I'll
And
put
maybe
on
an
the pot.
aspirin.
An aspirin.
Now, do I have any notes on the occult?
I'm assuming.
Would I have collected anything?
I'm assuming that you've collected several books that are about are occultish. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
He drinks it black. You know this. You guys have plenty of brunches and breakfasts together, just as neighbors or that kind of thing.
Neighbors.
You have stuff that purports to be occult, things that have spells in them. You've tried some of them. If you haven't, you can tell me that right now.
No.
Nothing has worked. Nothing has ever worked that you've ever tried.
Okay.
So, and you've got your occult is what? What's the percent?
My occult percent is 65.
Okay, so you've done a lot of research, and from what you can find out, most of it's bunk.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I wouldn't know this. But I would actually like to, at some point, also compare notes. And if you wouldn't mind taking a look at what I have.
Sure.
Hold on, young.
I actually have quite a few
Note.
notes on this Bryan Timmons fellow. I don't know if you've heard of him, but
You probably would.
apparently-
Bryan Timmons.
Do me a note check. See if you remember.
Did I hear?
Ooh, that's a 96. I don't know.
Oh.
Your name's familiar, but you can't remember details. You
We always in the newspaper, right?
might have read something in the newspaper.
You wish you knew.
If you remember what I've told you.
Yeah, I remember
Then, yeah, you can
reading
remember
the
that.
newspaper. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
saw that case in the newspaper.
Yeah, well, just between you and me, there was some non-Christian things happening there. In the way of magic, not in any
Interesting.
Well,
Oh, I
it's
see.
a
I see.
Marriage.
That's just there, sipping coffee.
Yes.
What?
Yeah,
Taking
I
the
know.
whole name.
It's-
We're gonna find out.
it's... yeah.
That is very interesting.
Uh-huh. I don't know how much I should tell you.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, no,
you have
that's
to
up to
decide that.
you.
You get to
That's up
decide
to
that.
you completely.
It is up
But
to-
Pendergast was about to say.
Did your character say
Wait.
that? though? I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, my character said
Oh,
it.
does she say that?
Oh.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, she's not holding anything back. Well,
You're not holding anything back from your character.
personality-wise,
Gotcha.
not holding anything back.
Is
So,
that why
but-
McKeefe ran screaming for me at Bob?
That did interest me.
I'm just ignoring you.
That's why I do it. No, stay in character. Do it.
Right. So it does interest you a little bit, right?
Oh, I'm interested in anything occult. Trying to expand my wealth of knowledge.
Especially interested in magic that works.
Well, I've seen some things.
And some stuff.
I've seen some things that probably you can't even imagine in your wildest dreams.
I would like to see these things.
Why does it sound so wrong?
And then
Remember,
I walk
And
in.
the girl's making everything sound wrong.
He's an old guy. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, no, I'm really old.
Well, I know Bryan Timmons is still at large. Bryan.
Correct.
He's still at large, and let's just say it is a very bad thing that he is still at large because he's quite a powerful being.
Really? Okay, wait. I want to try to work on an old man voice. No, not working.
Italian
I'm
too,
gonna-
remember. No, wait. Remember, he's Italian too, so he might talk kind of like Marlon Brando. Really?
That sounded
However you want to do it.
Anyways,
Practice at home.
yes.
Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if he was somehow connected with this McCrockendale case.
McCorgan down.
Now, I did hear about
He's
him.
still sipping.
Have I heard about the mind control stuff?
He made
Yeah,
it.
John.
Super Saiyan.
Whoa, he made it.
What's up, John?
Hey, everybody. He made it.
Yay! Thank you for
That's when
making
McKeefe comes banging at you going, boom, boom. It's happening again, freak it out!
You can hold that. Wonderful.
Is there a place that I can say pull up a spot? Wonderful.
You're in the corner.
And Charlie found me.
You're next to me, John. Oh,
Proximity to the game is good luck, right?
It can be. Oh, somebody's done a lot of doodling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I always like drawing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Draw a picture of your character.
I actually made up a picture of my character. Just need to fix it a little bit in Photoshop and whatnot, or maybe get somebody to help me
Yeah.
fix it. Maybe.
Okay, so John, to bring you up to speed, it's been almost a month since all that awful stuff happened to you guys.
Yeah,
It's
trying to
late
find
July.
myself naturally.
You've put it behind. You've gone back to work.
Mhm.
You've kind of laid low. During that time, you would have talked to Miss Holland and returned Douglas Timmons' journal to her, correct? Okay. So she's in possession of that, but you actually would have had time to read it if you so desired. And did you want to?
I kind of skimmed through it, wanted to make sure that I knew that resurrections felt a little better.
Oh, okay. So you're going to try to learn that by heart?
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, by heart? Do we?
You could do it by heart right
I
now.
have the anti-resurrection
that's
spell,
right.
You
not
learned
the
it.
forward one.
It was a trapper.
So did you lend him that book then to
Yeah.
try to study?
I went
Alright,
to the book.
I can't do it.
I need you to make a.
I'm gonna die.
Let's see. You lose reading the book and digesting and getting information. You lose a point of sanity.
Hey, dog.
Okay.
Would I know
And-
to possibly ask her about spell stuff? Because you said I know about the spells.
Oh yeah, you know there are spells allegedly. You
Yeah.
try them. They don't work.
Yes.
Nothing has been made to work. Let me get John caught up and then I'll finish up this little session here. You went temporarily insane, didn't you? Yeah, so you're gonna get.
Apparently you ran out
points
of
in your
reading.
Cthulhu mythos? No. Alright, so reading the book and going temporarily insane gives you a grand total of 8% in the Cthulhu mythos.
Okay.
He's in the rafters.
And I need you to make. You have one chance. I need you to make an intelligence check times 1. So you need to roll 15% or less. See if you can learn the spell. Since we're outside, she was able to learn it automatically, and I've told them this. I'll tell you guys this. Sometimes during a game, you'll need a spell, and you can just learn it. Boom, you got it. You figured it out. Outside of that actual scenario, there's then you'll actually have to check to see if you can understand how to cast a spell. You can keep trying to learn it, but there's usually only a certain chance that you'll be able to. And it takes weeks. This takes 2 weeks of study to try to learn this.
Okay,
Wait
44.
for it. Now you can hang on to the book and keep trying, and then in another 2 weeks you'll be able to try again in early August if you so desire. Well, it takes 2 weeks of study, practice, and attempting to learn these things. Aaron, what's your question?
I wish
What's the
you
square
realized
for
it
it?
was like that.
If you want to draw your character's
Okay.
picture in there, you can.
What
did I say?
Let's just ask.
That's what it's for. You've laid low, you've done some jobs. Other than that, you've kind of stayed close to the ground because there's that vagrant that jumped out the window. This was in the paper on July 4th. You were visited by Detective Malloy again, who was trying to find Miss Holland. And I'm assuming you didn't tell him that she was in the hospital. And he found out later on his own. But he questioned you and thinks that you were in that room when all that stuff went down. Even though no bodies were found, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I still can't exactly fit anything on me.
Right, exactly. There's no actual proof. And that's the last that. Yeah, and then you've been studying this book ever since then and doing some jobs at night. There's a guy named William Pendergast that lives upstairs in the apartment next to hers. You know him, he's a drinking buddy.
Yeah.
And goes to the speakeasy with you. Quite often he's really, really loaded. But he mostly spends it on drink and clothes and the theater and blah, 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 blah. But he's really nice. And whenever you two go out together...
Fancy boy.
Yeah, he is. Where is his picture still out there somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Where's
guy?
Pendergast's picture?
Pendergast.
Yeah, here's Pendergast.
We're all just
He,
admiring him.
Yeah, but he always pays when you guys go out together. He always pays for everything. He's giving you loans if you need them or that kind of thing. You've thought about fencing some goods with him, but he's a little
I
too.
want him to be my fish.
He's not.
That's what you
Yeah,
want.
he's a little too.
He's
straight.
super honest. He can't keep a secret with a damn either.
He's taped him up.
Anyway, so it's the 28th, and I'm going to give you another chance to learn that spell. We're going to go ahead and cheat a little and make another roll and check on that. And then you can decide what you wanted to do on the evening of the 28th. You were in your apartment when you thought you heard some people come in upstairs. It sounded like one of them was Pendergast, because it's kind of loud when he's been drinking. And he headed on up the steps to his apartment on the second floor.
I made a 17, so I still fail.
17. So you still haven't quite learned it yet. So right now, he's got Bryan Timmons' or Douglas Timmons' journal. He's borrowed from you.
Okay.
But you know where it is
Yeah.
because he wanted to read it and try to. Did you tell her you wanted to try to learn how to cast that spell?
What is
For
that?
real, just as opposed to reading it out of the book?
Reels.
Or did you keep that to yourself?
That's when I told her I wanted to borrow it, see if there was maybe anything that might be interesting to me.
Your
Okay.
ideas.
Did you hear that, Caitlin?
Yes.
Okay, so that's all he wanted it for.
You got some really high numbers over
You haven't really talked to
rolled
Miss
pretty
Holland
well.
since you borrowed the book. almost
Except
a
for
month
strength and size.
ago. And it's July 28th,
Okay.
and it's evening, and is there anything in particular you want to do?
Physical attributes I didn't roll.
Well, I guess I'm kind of hanging out in my apartment now. Have I already found out about? No, I've already heard about this like a couple
Yeah,
weeks ago.
this was a few weeks back. This was at the beginning of the month when this
Oh.
came out. And then Malloy visited you not long after that.
Okay. Yeah, this kind of just real.
It's pretty much what happened in that horrible apartment that night when you shot that guy and then dealt with it.
Mr. Timmons.
Yes. So we can go back to the role playing over here.
Where were we?
Spells. You were.
I was thinking about. I was about to bring
spells
that
are real
up.
or not? Yes.
Yeah, I found these books, and I've tried these so-called spells, but they don't seem to work. I think these books must be bogus.
She laughs at that.
From your tone, I would assume that they aren't.
No, I would say that they probably aren't. Just from what I've experienced in the past.
They just didn't work.
So you can successfully use spells? What does Pendergast do?
He's just looking. He's a god. Sipping at his coffee, his black coffee. He seems a bit confused. But he also seems a little drunk, so.
Well, yes. To put it plainly, I can.
Interesting.
Wow, you just threw it all up.
Is that what you did to McKeefe down there in the basement?
Man, he is
No. I'll have to tell you about that later.
Oh.
Just,
If you want, you could tell us about it now.
putting you on the spot.
Oh boy.
Why,
What
in my
time
guy's
is it?
very...
It's after 9 o'clock. You've got a clock on the wall. Yeah, it's like 9:15.
It's getting late. Y'all should probably...
Don't let her roll play. Okay. You say that? What time is it? Look at your watch.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do say that. Maybe
Where's
you
my watch?
Maybe
Would you
you guys-
like to do this a different time?
Probably whenever I'm more awake.
I look well off. I just
If
like
you
to
want to,
see.
you could coincidentally go up and knock on her door now.
Maybe in a little while.
Okay.
Don't want to make it seem too much like I'm deliberately jumping in.
But yeah, I guess
You can.
we will make our leave. Pendergast.
Yes, well, I live next door. I'll help you get a cab there, though. Come on. Well, you're
I
a
let him
gentleman,
lead out.
so yeah, he leads you out of the apartment. Yes, hello, Mrs. Burke.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
Before the door.
Okay. No, that's across the
Oh.
nosy neighbor in the apartment building.
She's
You
just
wanna
up
watch
at all
people
hours.
screaming out of the apartment. Yeah. You guys leave. He walks you down to the curb. A cab eventually shows up. It's about 5 minutes, so actually before one drives by. And he hails it for you and he wishes you good night, very respectfully.
And a good night to you.
You can see this from your window if you so desire. I mean, you see them. They're just down on the street,
Yes, I'm
and
watching
they get a cab. Make me a spot hidden. Are you trying to stay hidden?
him.
I mean, do you like turn the light off in your apartment? You just pull the
I
curtains? Okay.
feel like my guy would
Make
look
me a hide
back
check.
anyways.
What is going on?
She fails. There's no way. I rolled a 4%.
I can't draw.
The mustache should be bushier.
You probably should do.
Did you fail?
I know I rolled a 4%
4%. Now she has hide.
out of 55.
57 out of 40. Okay. So you do look back and you see that the curtains are closed, but there's like a narrow crack. Like it'd be very easy for somebody to peek out at you. And I'm assuming you turn the lights off in your apartment.
It was less of a looking for her. I was looking just back at her.
You look back, you look up. Oh, Bailey.
What was that?
Shh, relax. Somebody bumped her and she freed.
Wasn't me. I guarantee.
With you last time.
Yeah, you see the curtain twitch. That's what you notice. Settle. You get a cab, you go home. Pendergast goes home. If you want to go up and visit with her that night, it is rather late, but that's up to you.
Well, I'd be inclined to wonder if the lady has any desire to come and talk with me.
Let's talk with you. She hasn't seen you in like 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, but maybe maybe she wants
really?
to go back and maybe she It's like, hey,
Yep. No,
you want to
that's-
join this weird group of people that's being
You can't do
ultra-
that. You can't say, we're going up to do this thing, and it seems like there's a lot of us, but do you want to come? Or you don't have to if you don't want to.
Otherwise, you could just leave me in the basement.
Yes, you can leave him in the basement. I'll
wait.
find a way to get him involved.
Where are you right now?
I'm in
You
the basement.
don't.
but
Your
fine.
character doesn't know.
Okay, I don't know where.
Okay. You just had to go get a drink at the speakeasy.
Okay.
You've gone back to the speakeasy. It's still early.
Yeah,
You-
for us.
Well, Pendergast isn't. Pendergast's going to bed. He got
Oh.
pretty toasted and he's tired. But you go back and you see John McKeefe come into the speakeasy. And you recognize him, but you settle.
And Pendergast has been blabbing constantly, so
Yes,
I know
about
about him
McKeefe
screaming,
having
running
spells
out.
cast on him or whatever happened. Yeah. So yeah, you see John McKeefe come in. He gets a table and orders.
I'm gonna go ahead and order, say, a shot or two of gin.
Okay, gin. Yeah, the
Still
book is
early in the
disturbing too, and you've been trying to figure this thing
To
out.
drown
and
it
it's
out.
just like out of your head. No. So
Can I get the thing done to where like guy gives him a drink, says the guy over there
Yeah.
is paying for it, blah blah
yeah,
blah.
you know that there's an older gentleman that is in the speakeasy. He's in his 60s, always very well dressed. If your memory serves, he was there the night that you took Miss Holland to the speakeasy. Always sits in the same
Sorry,
booth in the
it's
corner
like-
and drinks drinks just wine.
So beautiful, you can't.
Italian, but older. Might be connected with the people who run the speakeasy. You're not sure. You just don't know. You never really inquired. And then someone brings you another shot of gin and says, Mr. Where's my list? Mr. Bertelli. Bertelli?
Yeah, Bertelli. I like Bertelli.
Bertelli. Mr. Bertelli sends this with his compliments. And then he leaves. It's just a waiter. The guy that runs the speakeasy that you know, you don't see him.
Then you left.
No, he's just sitting in the
Yeah,
corner
waiter,
in his booth.
So I specifically know who Bertelli is in terms
He
of...
kind of gestured towards that booth when he handed you the drink.
I'm going to,
Very lighthearted, kind of halfway wave
Okay.
at you.
I'm just gonna kind of turn toward him and kind of be like,
Okay.
maybe after a few minutes, I was just kind of gently sipping it, kind of go over and be like, so I see that you like to buy a drink for people. Hopefully this isn't one of those weird sorts of
For me.
things.
I actually wanted to talk to you about your friends.
Oh. What friends in particular?
What was your name? Mary?
Her name was
Mary.
Mary Jane.
Jane.
There you go.
Talk to your
yes.
friends or talk to you about Mary.
Legends.
I know her a little.
Yay.
I've heard you've had a run-in with her about some rather strange happenings.
Run in, you say? Well, she did ask me to go see to some ex-boyfriend she had in a mental institution. That's about
Wow.
it for what we went off and did.
Interesting. I also heard something about her doing something that frightened you.
Oh, man, come on.
I prefer to keep the bedroom talk in the bedroom.
Why If I wasn't in my apartment sleeping right now.
You seem like a tough nut to crack.
Remember, I think
that's
you
not
had
me.
heard about McKeefe, hadn't I? Didn't I tell you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Like all of the Pendergast stuff that he probably blew up.
Well, not Pendergast, but the stuff that you know from this organization.
Oh yeah.
That he
I
keeps
know
things,
about
that he's not a part, that he keeps things close
Yeah,
to
he
chest,
doesn't.
and that he sells stuff to the organization occasionally. That's about
I
it.
can.
Antiquities.
If you would give me information, would I make a bargain roll against another player?
No, against other players, it's going to be totally their call
Okay.
whether or not they're willing to do something.
If you can actually tell me useful information about some of the things, I'm trying to make it so he can't just do something perverse.
You dirty old man.
No, if you can give me some useful information about the occult dealings you and her have been doing together, I can make it worth your while. Wink. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
Wink.
The wink didn't happen.
Especially the sexually occult.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Put that back.
Well, first, if you were to define a cult,
Anything otherworldly, magical in nature.
otherworldly, say like unseemly, like
Unseemly.
What exactly are you thinking that what exactly sort of person do you think I am? Do you think I'm some sort of a voodoo man or a magician or?
I don't believe you are, but I believe she might be.
A voodoo man.
He's a magician.
Secretly, yes.
She is a voodoo.
Now, who precisely have you heard this from? Earliest
Pendergrass won't die.
Other sources.
Including the
I know
person
that
himself.
I know that nobody exactly goes around saying that they practice the occult.
Nobody goes around saying that.
So, wow. What exactly are you implying? What exactly are you asking about?
Well, if you don't feel it necessary to share information, I believe we're done here.
Well, I'm kind of curious about who you're getting this information from. So maybe, just maybe, if you happen to be able to relay some of this information, maybe I could tell you about some of this crazy voodoo talk you're thinking that I would talk about.
So you want a name in exchange for information?
Yes.
Well, I'm a man of my word, so I will give you the name after I can see your hand.
Oh.
You know, the figure of hand. Okay, no, your guy actually does that though.
Wham! Here's my hand. Here's my gun.
No.
That would be a bad thing.
Yeah, no, that'd be
Everybody
just,
died that
yeah.
way. Sorry.
And a gunfight breaks out.
You held his hand out. You held your hand out like that.
Did you actually?
I'm assuming you didn't do this.
Yes, I'm just like,
Okay.
Okay. Tell me your side, and I'll tell you mine.
well, I know that a certain individual with whom I have been in close acquaintanceship did run across a certain book that we both read, and there were claims of some mysticism or magic in there, and that we might have attempted to try some of this out. But suffice to say, it's the 20th century. Do you think that any of that like 10th century stuff is ever going to be a real thing?
You've got a good point. Now, can I actually sweeten the deal? And if you can tell me where this journal may be, I could give you $1,000.
That's a pretty sweet deal.
What exactly interests you so much about this? And also, first I want to get your end of the bargain. You said.
Oh, the name?
Uh-huh.
I actually talked to Mary myself, and she was telling me that she was able to cast some of these spells.
She would say that, wouldn't she? She's always got a.
There's a mouth on that one.
She's always got a taste for the fantasy.
Blocking things out.
Now, I did personally, in fact, have this book in my possession, but well, let's just say that in the past there have been certain people who came, I don't know why, looking for this book. So I'm inclined to think that if I were to give you the location of this book, you might be inclined to send somebody to try and find it. Now, I'm a man of my word. Are you a man of your word? Would you?
Of course.
That you would not necessarily just snatch the book out of my hands.
I was making a purchase of the book, is what I was implying. But if it's not for sale,
Everything's for sale.
Well, see, my friend, the important thing here is that though I would be glad to give you the location of the book, at the same time, while assuming that I'll be receiving $1,000 in return for the knowledge of said location. At the same time, it is still not my book to give.
Nice.
That's a fair deal. Who does own the book?
Well, as you may recall, Miss Holland is the one who is actually interested in these things, and she is the one who found the book.
Which is Swiss Holland? Oh!
Mary Jane.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Change your middle name.
Vis-a-vis, she would be the one from whom you could actually purchase such book, but I would be glad to take $1,000 off your hands for the location of the book as it is.
Yeah, no. I mean, that'd still be a good deal.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I was gonna have to make a psychology check, but it's
Yeah.
pretty obvious what's going on, so keep going.
Yeah, no. It's not his, but he can tell me the location, and then I can go steal it, whatever it.
Yeah.
He's a mobster.
Yeah.
Keep going, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can. If I'm a man of my word, I will give you the $1,000. Obviously, people don't walk around with that money. But if you come with me to the bank tomorrow,
If you write a check tonight,
wait, can we do checks?
Yeah, there's checks.
Oh, I didn't know checks were.
You can write you a check.
Oh yeah. Well, I only get just my
No,
checkbook.
all the money.
Yeah, you haven't really gotten invited up to New Hampshire yet, have you?
I was told about it.
You were told about it, and then you did.
And I was told she was going, she was interested, and then I heard some other people were going. I think I heard his name.
Did anybody mention to you when they're leaving?
No.
Okay.
We
But
like
you know
to-
where?
But yeah.
Because Pendergast would have told you the time
Yeah,
of town.
no.
So okay, keep going.
No,
Keep
I
going,
think he
sorry.
might have said he was leaving tomorrow.
He might have mentioned that.
Um,
And it might not even be true. Who knows? Pendergast is pretty drunk. You might just assume the guy's heading on up.
true. I mean, my
I'm surprised he's not
my
going
guy's
there.
interested more in the book at the
Right,
moment.
and that's
yeah.
Yeah, you could write him a check. You probably
Yeah,
have your
so,
checkbook in your coat.
And so, where is the location of this?
So you write him a $1,000
Yeah.
check.
$1,000.
and so I'm going ahead and writing out the location. Now it's at the apartment listed here. Now I do live in a basement, so it is going to be a little damp, but I assure you, the book is not moldy or say has any ink dripping off, and I assure you that it is in fact the real deal. And also-
Did you hide the book in your secret?
No, I
hiding
just kind of
place?
left it out in the
It's
middle
sitting-
of the room.
okay.
Yeah, it's lovely.
That's fine. I just want to make sure I know.
And
Right there on the floor.
and so we go ahead and exchange things. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, he gives you. It's the same apartment building that you guys
Yeah.
went to early this evening.
I
The
definitely
apartment is,
take note of that.
The apartment's number is letter A or something. The basement apartments have letters instead of
Yeah.
letters. We'll say that.
And also, well, thank you very much for such a generous gift. Now, I'd be inclined to wonder what your interest in such a book would be. At least you seem to be interested in this thing called the occult.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So, and you said, what is your interest in the occult? It's- Thank you for your time, Mr.
Oh, McKeefe.
Mhm.
Mr. McKeefe.
McKeefe.
That's his name.
You're a bad guy.
And you have a wonderful night.
Oh,
You sounded so
Well, yeah.
sincere.
$1,000 for 10 minutes work isn't too bad.
And then I walk in.
And then I walk out.
Okay. Are you gonna have his apartment burgled that night?
Is Bernardo with me? I would assume so. So I would have him drive me
Lucky
typically.
Bernardo.
Yeah, Bernardo's around.
Okay.
Yes, people.
He's in the speakeasy. He always goes. He gets a drink, but he never drinks it. It just sits on the table in front of him.
I like it. Yeah. I want to head to the apartment.
All right, Mr. Bertelli. You get into the sedan, into your Rolls Royce, and he drives you over to the apartment building. What are you going to do after this?
Well, I'm actually
encounter?
going to go ahead and as soon as he decides that he's leaving, I'm pretty much not exactly booking it since I don't necessarily want to seem like I'm trying to rush it.
You
I'm
slip
gonna go
out
ahead and slip
right after
out
he
and
does.
book it to the back entrance of the. Well, not the back entrance, but there's a back window of the
There's several.
apartment.
Yeah, there's windows that open into an alley.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Oh my god. Wow.
It's a race.
Derailed completely from the adventure. That's okay. That happens.
I just gotta follow my character.
Okay. You're not telling Bernardo to rush or anything like that, are you? You have no idea that he's even left the speaker.
I don't know anything about him. I do tell him faster than normal, but not like rushing.
Okay. How are you getting back to the apartment? You gonna try to hail a cab?
Actually, yeah, I guess I'll just need to hail a cab since I was driving her car last time around. So
Okay.
yeah.
What the heck?
Stole her car.
Okay. Each of you two make me a luck check.
Okay.
Tell me how much you beat it by if you beat it. This is gonna determine who gets there first. You waving this
Come on.
$1,000 check in the cabbie's face. I'm rich.
I'm rich.
I got 71, so my luck is bad.
So you not make it.
29 out of 65.
Okay. You arrive first. He pulls up out in front of the apartment. Mary can make me a luck check as well.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
See, this is where time is of the essence, in my opinion, because I'm breaking and entering.
You're not.
I'm not really breaking and entering.
You're sending Bernardo down there to do it, aren't you?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I got a 17 out of 80.
Holy mackerel. Okay, you got up to get a drink of water when a car pulled up out front and stopped the engine. Across the street, actually.
Okay.
And it was like a purr of a car. Like it wasn't like your car's like a. It was like a.
Yeah.
Goo, 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 goo. And it just goes and stops.
It
So
sounds
you can do
pretty
whatever you want, or ignore it if you want.
I'm like,
It is what, 10 or 11
What?
at night?
Yeah. You returned after talking to her. It was after 9, so it's probably about 10 when you talked to him. So it's at 10:30 p.m. ish.
alright, I'm gonna be, getting the glass of water. Like,
Right.
in
You-
my apartment?
Yeah, you just went to your kitchen to get a glass of water because you woke up. You couldn't get sleep. You went to the kitchen. You poured yourself a glass of water. You were heading back to your bedroom when you heard this car pull up and stop out front.
Okay.
There's some traffic on the street. There's not a lot, but this was like a purr of a car, like a really nice car.
Suspicious.
Well, it's unusual. That's why you had the luck check. That's what woke you up.
Okay.
I get my gun.
I'm actually gonna grab
That's
my
very
gun.
suspicious.